What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in to talk about some of the content and updates that we're going to get for Destiny 2. That'll be coming alongside the weekly reset this week on the 9th of July. So in terms of the game itself, to be honest, it is going to be one of the quieter weeks, but this is the final week before we get Act 2 of Echoes, so in a way we're kind of building up to that. Of course, Bungie do have a live reveal this week. They'll be showing off some of the content that we'll get for Act 2, and we'll talk a little bit about how there may actually be some prep which is relevant in-game for the content dropping next week. Otherwise though, we'll talk about key rewards and activities for the week, as well as some of the Bungie Day related things, as a lot of the Bungie Day stuff is actually kind of going live today, so there are a few important things to discuss. As always, we'll round it up in the video, and if you enjoy it, a rating below very much helps us out on the channel, but without further delay, let's get into it. And the first thing that we should mention, but the Destiny 2 team had said, we've noticed reports and observed data that suggests XP earn rates are slower than expected. They are investigating this further, but in the meantime, they say they've enabled a change that increases the total weekly rest bonus by 150,000 XP over its 200,000 XP base. And this temporary increase will be available each week until the issue is resolved. So while there is still some weird stuff going on with XP across the board, there is at least that temporary rest bonus which is active at reset. So that's the first thing to mention, and I'll keep you posted if we get any additional updates or patches that address that. But with the Echoes Act 1 content kind of having rolled out at this point, most of the attention is turning to Act 2 that will actually begin next week on the 16th of July, but later on today at 10 AM Pacific time, which is 6 PM here in the UK, bang on the weekly reset time, Bungie will actually have a live stream where they preview some of the upcoming content for Echoes. So I'll try and keep you posted with that later on, but as far as we understand it, there will be a new sort of key activity for the season which will be featured in this second half of the episode. Plus there are some new weapon rewards and things like that drop in, and otherwise we'll simply have to wait and see what Bungie actually have to reveal, but they have said that for anyone who watches 15 minutes or more during the live stream, via Twitch drops, we'll get access to a new emblem called Ooh Shiny, which is the one we can see on screen there, so make sure to watch that on Twitch with rewards enabled if you want to get access to it. And look into the game this week, of course, we won't get new story steps or a research quest as far as we understand it, but some players are opting to actually hold on to Echo's engrams for new weapons which are dropping after July 16th. This might be something which is worth doing. Bungie have not confirmed whether this is going to be a valuable move or not, but if you've got all of the loot that you really want at this point, it might be something to think about, as we're going to get 2 or 3 weapons introduced into the pool next week. One of them will indeed be the solar rocket sidearm, so that's going to be a popular weapon, and while we can't guarantee that holding on to engrams at the moment will actually give us more chances to get those weapons next week, the one thing we can say is that looking at the database, for example, the Echo engram, in terms of its potential rewards, does actually list all of the weapons which are available during this episode and the ones that will come out during future acts, so that indicates that potentially these engrams will simply be updated to enable the additional drops that will be introduced. And so there is a chance that we'll be able to get the new weapons from them, of course, depending on RNG. Otherwise though, players are also saving things like weekly challenges for XP, as we know we're going to get another 50 ranks on the season pass, as well as I think 5 new artifact mods, which will unlock on July 16th. So again, no absolute guarantees here, but if you currently don't need the XP, I'd say at the very least it might be worth holding on to any seasonal challenges we get done in the next few days, as it might just give us that bit of a bump, if you want it, of course, when Echoes Act 2 actually drops next Tuesday. So a couple of things to think about there, and let us know if you'll be holding on to any of those things down in the comment section. Otherwise for this week, Iron Banner continues, so now we have 2 weeks of Iron Banner, which is certainly different, and the game mode will also change. So for the second week coming up later today, Tribute will be the core game mode. But otherwise, whether you're working on getting triumphs done, unlocking updated weapons, armor, whatever it may be, we have another week to do it. And also keep in mind that it will be up to 8 weeks until Iron Banner returns now with this new sort of cadence. So could be up to 2 months before we actually get another Iron Banner. But for the next week at least, we are still able to make progress. For a quick rundown of featured loot this week, I've seen a lot of speculation about what the Nightfall weapon is going to be. As we've seen in the past couple of weeks, it's very hard to predict at the moment as there just is not a full rotation, so I'm certainly not prepared to make a promise as to what we may actually get this week, but the Nightfall itself will be the Disgraced. And other key featured rewards that we can get access to this week, but for anyone who wants Touch of Malice, Kingsfall will be the featured raid, and that will be a farmable exotic during that time. Plus we've got Vox Obscura as the featured exotic mission, where we can farm the Dead Messenger, which is a craftable exotic as well. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, this is one of the quieter weeks for this episode so far, so that's really all we can talk about in terms of in-game stuff. Otherwise though, a lot of the Bungie Day stuff that was announced in the Twid last week will actually take place starting today. So that includes a PvP tournament that Bungie are running, and the matches for that will begin on July 10th, but donations for the Bungie Foundation charity campaigns will begin today, and as we can see, $7 donations will unlock a bunch of different emblems that have been featured over the past few years. Plus Bungie will be featuring the Graphite Daydreams emblem, which was the community design from last year, as a donation reward for $21. And otherwise, for a $28 donation, there'll be the Disciple Shell Exotic Ghost and the Librarian Luxury Shader Bundle, and so some of these rewards are pretty cool there. Plus the conditional finality ornament, the Bungie Foundation one, will be available in the store this week for 700 silver. And otherwise, if there is any items that you've been looking out for on the Bungie store, there are also going to be up to 75% off discounts for some of those items. So a lot of those discounts begin today on July 9th, but I'll link the Bungie store down below, as some of those proceeds will of course support the Bungie Foundation as well. So while it isn't directly related to gameplay, I figured it was worth a quick mention considering all of that is kicking off this week. But again, my main focus in terms of coverage this week will be keeping you posted with updates from Bungie and the news relating to the content that we're going to see for Act 2. So I'll do my best to keep you posted, keep it locked and loaded right here on the channel, get subscribed, and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss out on any content. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed the video, a rating also helps us out no end as well, and let us know any stuff that you'll be wrapping up in this final week of Act 1 for Echoes. But otherwise, thank you as always for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.
The witness is dead. From that victory, something new emerged. At first, we didn't know what to call them, but Echo seemed apt. You won't be alone. We're sending our best.
I was once the Vax's greatest opponent. I should remind them.
I never thought I'd see him shaken up like that. He's always so strong.
Do not forget what you're dealing with. Uploaded, judged, and eliminated.
I will be ready.